French-speaking Quebec City is strategically located atop steep cliffs that overlook the St. Lawrence River. It's in fact the only walled city in North America and holds the honor of being a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Founded in 1608 as a fur trading colony, Quebec City quickly became an administrative center and is today the capital of Quebec. With so many thrilling things to do there, not to mention all the history and nature you can explore while you're there, the provincial capital of Quebec is a must-visit location when you're exploring all that Canada has to offer. Fortifications of Quebec National Historic Site. The only city wall still erected in North America outside of Mexico are the Fortifications of Quebec, which are now a protected National Historic Site. Built in the 17th century, these sturdy ramparts, gates, and towers played a crucial role in the defense of the colony and withstood several attacks by the French and Americans. Revitalized and expanded at numerous times over the centuries, the walls now stretch nearly 3 miles in length and wind around the perimeter of Old Quebec. Wander along its ramparts and enjoy unparalleled views of the city and its many landmarks. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Viewcation if you haven't already. And keep watching to see what we think is the top site worth seeing in Quebec City. La Citadelle de Quebec. Located atop Cap Diamant, this citadel contains the oldest military building in Canada and forms part of the city's fortifications. It's also an active military installation and the secondary official residence of both the Canadian monarch as well as the Governor-General of Canada. La Citadelle is the headquarters of the 22nd Canadian Regiment, which was formed at the beginning of the First World War and boasts a distinguished record including action at the Battle of the Somme and much later in its history in the Korean War. If you visit the site in the summer, you can catch the changing of the guard ceremony each morning. Afterwards, you can pay a visit to the Military Museum, which is open year-round and is located in the mid-18th century powder magazine in the southern corner of the Citadel. Plains of Abraham. Directly west of the Citadel and outside the old city's walls stretches the green expanse known as the Plains of Abraham. In 1759, the British, led by General Wolfe, victoriously fought off the French under Commander Louis-Joseph de Montcalm. Exhibits here detail the turbulent history of how Quebec City at first resisted and then lost to the British. The park also hosts the 2 Martello Towers that were later additions to the city's fortifications. In the late 1930s, construction began on the Joan of Arc Garden, which was designed by Louis Perron. From spring until fall, you can come see a phenomenal flower display here. Families with young children will find interactive exhibits at the museum that encourage guests to actively engage with history. Kids will especially appreciate taking part in the family treasure hunt, which involves exploring and discovering historical finds around the park. Musée National des Beaux-Arts de Quebec. This museum, found in Battlefields Park, is host to one of the largest art collections in Canada. While the museum's primary focus is highlighting artworks produced within the province, it's also home to over 40,000 paintings, prints, and sculptures by renowned artists from other regions around Canada and the rest of the world. Opened in 1933, the museum's massive collection now sprawls over 4 buildings, with each pavilion being connected by a series of underground tunnels. Especially noteworthy is its sublime exhibit on Inuit art, which features works from celebrated artists such as Jean-Paul Lemieux and Fernand Ledoux. Musée de la Civilisation. This museum is a 3-part institution that explores the multifaceted history of humanity and the establishment of French America. The main museum is located in Basseville, near the Old Port. Built under the direction of the illustrious architect Moshe Safdie, the Central Museum is of great interest to architecture fans. The permanent collection features works from civilizations from all over the globe. The Museum of French America can be found in the historic Séminaire de Quebec in Upper Town. As the name implies, it explores the various chapters of history of the French in North America. Place Royale is the 3rd component of the Musée de la Civilisation, and we think it's one of the most historically significant attractions in Quebec. Place Royale. Place Royale actually stands on the site of Quebec's actual foundation. On this very spot, in 1608, Samuel de Champlain built a fur trading post that quickly grew into the capital of the French-Canadian province. Place Royale is, in fact, the largest still-standing ensemble of 17th and 18th century buildings in North America. The gorgeous stone church Notre-Dame de Victoire is built in the midst of a cobbled square alongside Maison Chevalier of the Musée de la Civilisation, which we'll discuss in more detail. The adjacent Batterie Royale was constructed in 1691 and faces out over the river and is encircled by stalwart walls and palisades. Terrasse Dufferin. One of the most popular places to visit in the city is Terrasse Dufferin, which offers breathtaking views out over Old Quebec and the St. Lawrence River. Sitting high atop a cliff, the long boardwalk wraps around Chateau Frontenac, the historic hotel that dominates the city's skyline. Chateau Frontenac can actually be seen from miles away and is especially impressive to see at night. Terrasse Dufferin was the original site of Fort St. Louis, the governor's place of residence during Quebec's colonial era. Tourists can check out the ruins underneath the promenade. It's also historically important for hosting the Quebec Conference in August 1943, where the Allied powers laid preparations for the D-Day landings in Normandy on June 6, 1944. Built in 1879, Terrasse Dufferin also has an appealing ambiance as street performers and artists often set up shop on the terrace. Cathedral-Basilica of Notre-Dame de Quebec. Even though it's been burnt down and destroyed plenty of times throughout its long, storied history, the Cathedral-Basilica of Notre-Dame de Quebec is the oldest church in Canada, and it's been standing in its various incarnations in the same spot since 1647. Located in the center of Old Quebec, the cathedral features a somewhat austere exterior appearance with its large gray facade topped by two towering towers. Inside, the illuminated cathedral boasts a collection of ornate, shimmering treasures, colorful stained glass, and historic religious works of art. Montmorency Falls Park. A quick 15-minute drive to the northeast of Quebec City will bring you to one of the region's most outstanding natural sights, the impressive Montmorency Falls. Situated in a beautiful scenic park that shares its name, the waterfall looms a lofty 275 feet above ground, which is taller than the renowned Niagara Falls. While the waterfall is an excellent subject for photographers to get lost in, the park itself is also well worth your time exploring. Aside from a suspension bridge and cable car that offers up a commanding view of the falls, it's also an excellent spot if you enjoy hiking, playgrounds, and zip lines. Old Quebec. Last but not least, we have the historic heart of the city. Old Quebec is the go-to destination in Quebec City for attractions, beautiful historic buildings, and charming streets practically begging you to go for a leisurely stroll. Old Quebec is comprised of both Upper Town and Lower Town, with the Old Port and Battlefields parks lying on both sides. Within its battlemented walls are not just numerous museums and monuments, but also the historic Place Royale, the first site settled in the city. This historic borough also hosts countless centuries-old buildings and must-see sites like its Citadel and Cathedral. Old Quebec is the highlight of most visitors' trips. It has an inviting atmosphere with its numerous shops and restaurants. If there's one place in Quebec City you absolutely must see, it would be Old Quebec. While there, you can take the funicular train for easy transportation up Cap Diamant, connecting Upper Town from the narrow Petit Champlain Road at the foot of the Cape to the top. There, you'll find a marvelous view of the city. Did we forget to mention one of your favorite sites or attractions in Quebec City? Let us know in the comment section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Viewcation if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.